There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
I was trying to get it figured out. I had a little technical difficulty. Me and computers, it's like oil and water. It just doesn't really mix very well, but I'm getting better at it. I promise you that. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. Tiny little headache. That's why I got the lamp going instead of the overhead lights. So if you guys are wondering why it looks a little like yellowy in here, that's why. But those things just they strain my eyes after a while. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I definitely appreciate that. I want to start off by telling you a little bit about me, just so you guys don't think I'm some stranger talking to you about benefits. So my name's James Sodan, and as you can see, I've been a part of the union. I work with OPIU, Local 277. We're the union that handles benefits for all of the major unions. So we don't just work with the SEIU. We also work with the Teamsters, the firefighters, the bricklayers, the police, I already said police, teachers, firefighters, but you get it. Basically all the major unions, all right? I've been doing it for 6 years. I love what I do because I get to meet awesome people like you guys. I started off in New York State, where I was born and raised, and then I switched over here to Massachusetts about 4 years ago, which wasn't too hard to convince me to come out here. I'm a diehard Pats fan. Don't tell that to the people back in New York. I've been in enough arguments with those guys, the Giants fans, but it is what it is. So that's a little bit about me. What about you guys? Are you from the area? Are you from Mass?
Yeah, I grew up here. I grew up in Foxborough.
Awesome.
I grew up in Connecticut.
Okay, so Brendan, I must ask you, how cool was it growing up right next to the stadium?
It was pretty cool. Yeah, we could hear games from our front yard, basically.
Wow.
Flyovers went right over our house. Yeah.
That's got to be pretty sweet. Now, are you a Pats fan is the real question.
Yes.
Okay, cool. On the good side. This year's been a little up and down with Cam, but I feel like he's starting to finally get his feng shui back a little bit. Now, Brendan, did you come from a big family or a lot of brothers and sisters?
I'm an only child.
Oh, okay. God bless you. That's kind of, it's always a positive and a negative. Sometimes you get to get spoiled, but then, you don't have anybody to pick on. So it's a little bit of give and take there, right?
Yep. A lot of cousins, but
there you go. Are your parents still local, or did they kind of?
My mom and stepdad are right here in town.
Cool.
I was born in Michigan and moved out here when I was 2. So my dad lives out in Michigan still.
Okay. I've been to Michigan a couple of times. It's a beautiful place. I love it out there.
Yeah.
It's like, it reminds me kind of like Maine, where it's like God's country, so to speak. There's not a bunch of people all over. It's like from upstate New York, even. We had more cows than people. So it was pretty cool being up there. How about you, Miss Lauren? Are you from the area?
Well, I grew up in Connecticut, and I met Brendan at UConn.
Yeah.
So that's how we met. And then, we've been together for what, like 10 years now? 11.
Yeah. How sweet is that?
Married 5 years ago and had a baby 3 months ago. So
Oh, I forgot you had the new addition. Congratulations. Yes. That's beautiful. How 3 months you just said? That's how old? Is it a boy or a girl?
Boy. His name is Tucker.
Tucker. Oh, wow. That's a cool name. I've always liked that name.
It's my maiden name. So it's extra special.
Okay, that's really cool. And that flows too. I like it. So, and now, did you have a lot of brothers and sisters, or were you an only child too?
I have a half brother.
A half brother, cool. Is he local to you guys, or is he back in Connecticut?
He's back in Connecticut.
Nice. Yeah. Do you guys have like any free daycare babysitter type family around that can kind of support you?
Yes.
My mom and stepdad are about 5 minutes away, so.
And they probably love it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's always cool when you're a part of the family, but you don't directly have the kid, so you can like hop them up on sugar and then give them back when they start to act up. Yeah. You haven't gotten to that point yet, obviously being 3 months, but I had 2 younger brothers that are, one's 10 and one's 14 years younger than me. So as I was growing up, it was that cycle where I was the cool big brother where I got to get him candy and all that. And then I give him back to dad. I'm like, hey, here you go. They're all jacked up on Mountain Dew. All right, sweet. Now, obviously you're with the SEIU. How long have you been with them, Lauren?
I started at BMC in January.
Oh, cool. Okay, so it's relatively new. So this is probably the first time you've ever got a chance to see these benefits then, huh?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You're gonna definitely love what they set up for you. How are you liking it so far?
I really like where I work. I like like, I don't know, I feel like we really have a purpose at BMC. We serve, a very underprivileged community around us. We're a safety net hospital, so we don't turn people away based on their health insurance.
Wow.
It just really feels like we're helping the people that need help. And there's a lot of language barriers there, which can sometimes get a little frustrating, but
Yeah, I could imagine.
at the end of the day, it's like we're doing good work.
That's cool. Man. I can tell that, Lauren, you genuinely are one of those like caretaker type people where you love helping people, and
Yeah.
it's a cool thing that you found a position where you're able to do that on a daily basis.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. You got a good group of girls and guys you work with over there?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. My boss was pretty amazing during this whole pandemic. She, when a lot of us we weren't able to all work together. So we
Yeah.
split our team up into groups, but she was still able to find work for us when we weren't able to go into the hospital that we could do remotely and still make a paycheck, which was like insanely awesome. So we're kind of hoping that we don't have to go back to that, this winter and fall and winter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you back in the hospital yet, or are you still doing the home work?
Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then how about you, Brendan? What do you do for work, my man?
I'm a lawyer for a bank, so kind of the opposite of.
That's pretty cool though. How do you get into something like that?
I mean,
Sorry, we're watching the baby monitor.
Yeah,
that is
law school straight out of undergrad, and then I've been at State Street Bank it'll be going on 5 years soon.
I'm just gonna grab him quick.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what's a day-to-day like for you when you're
So I work in our procurement department, so I negotiate contracts between us and other companies that we bring in to do different services for our company. So
okay.
Like consulting agreements or marketing agreements, or when we have like different companies run like a call center for us or something like that, I'll negotiate that. So that sort of thing.
That's pretty cool. So that's kind of like I mean, obviously not kind of, that's a very important piece to that business, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're dealing with big money deals, probably.
Yep. It varies for sure based on what we're working with and who we're working with, but some of them can get pretty high up there.
Okay, cool. Well, hey man, that's pretty sweet. That's got to be, I mean, it seems like that's a type of work where it's interesting because it's not the same thing every day. You might be doing kind of the same, but it's not the same exact. You get to do different types of contracts, different clients, different deals. So that's how it keeps it fresh, so you don't get stuck in that same routine.
Yep.
Now, are you able to work from home, or are you working?
Yeah. I've only been into the office 2 days since March. So
wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. Are you liking that, especially with the newborn?
Yeah, and when she goes back, I'm taking time off. They have really good paternity leave benefits at State Street, and we didn't go on vacation this year, obviously. So a lot of vacation time built up.
My guy, I like it.
I'm going to be up for a while and home with the baby for 2 months, and then
That's cool. So you're going to be chilling out for the winter, or at least for the first part of it?
Yeah.
Look at him. Oh my gosh, what a cutie.
Yeah.
He's all tucked in. He looks like a human egg roll. I love it. Hi, buddy. Hello. Oh, wow. I saw a little wave there. Something's going on. Wow, he's pretty big. Is that big for a 3-month-old or 3-month-old?
6 months. Oh
yes.
Wow, that's awesome. So, I mean, I could talk to you guys all day long. I don't want to take up your whole evening. But you remember filling out the postcard and mailing that back for the benefits, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you're going to get that card every 2 years, Lauren, as long as you remained an active member in good standing with the union. Now, as you know, they try to provide you guys with the best possible benefits they can, and they do a pretty good job, right? But the fact is they can't give you everything with the amount of money they have. So that's why they partner with our union. All right. So what you get out of today is pretty simple, guys. You're going to get a no-cost life insurance policy that's going to cover both of you as well as your child. You guys are also going to receive a medical discount app. So it's something that's right on your phone, and it's going to save you up to 80%. It's actually the best discount app when it comes to medical expenses in the entire country. So they did a good job on that with you. You also receive a family info guide. So what that is, it's really designed to be a precursor to your will and a roadmap to all of your important documents. Okay. And then lastly, the best part is you get access to your permanent and portable benefits through the union. That's the stuff they negotiated for you, Lauren, to fill in the gaps wherever your guys' coverages may leave off. So as I walk you through that, if you guys say to yourself, like most families do, wow, it's an awesome benefit, we'll set it up for you guys today. If not, no big deal. All right, understand it's not some sales pitch that your union set up to give you guys something you don't need. It's just everybody really loves and appreciates it because they say it's so much more affordable than what you could ever get through a non-union company, and that's why everybody does enroll. All righty? But the only thing that the union does ask out of you today, Lauren, is whether this is a simple yes or a simple no. Definitely make that decision today because we literally have thousands and thousands of members requesting for these programs, especially with everything going on right now. But the cool part is you guys are going to find out right away if this is right for you because it's a simple benefit and it's not a lot to think about. Does that make sense for you?
Sure.
Sound fair?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I'm going to skip the boring corporate videos for you as long as that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what I see. All right, let me get back to it. Here we go.
You can see. Okay.
Perfect. Look at Dad feeding the baby and all.
Yeah.
Super dad over there. I like it. So guys, obviously I'm your benefit specialist, James Sodan. Now our parent company, I want to give you a little background on us as a company so you know who we are. Our parent company is Globe Life. I'm sure you probably heard of them before. They've been around forever, since 1900, serving working families. They got the most active policies on the books out of any company in the world. Now, one of the cool things about them is they have some awesome sponsorships. So the Dallas Cowboys actually chose us to represent them as their insurance company, which Jerry Jones, he doesn't put bad companies on his stadium. I'm sure you guys know that. Are you guys baseball fans at all?
Yeah.
He giggled. He's probably a diehard baseball fan, I'm guessing.
He's a Red Sox fan, and I was raised a Yankees fan.
Oh my goodness. So you guys are like this. That's crazy. Well, you guys didn't have to worry about it this year, but the cool thing is after today, you guys can say your insurance company held the World Series because it was actually held at Globe Life Park, which was pretty cool. And then when it comes to helping people, we're firm believers in that. We sponsor and partner with FC Dallas to provide the Special Olympics right at their stadium in Texas. So unfortunately, it's not the Patriots or the Red Sox or the Yankees, but you know, it is some of the Texas companies or Texas sports teams because that's where our corporate office is located. Now, our individual office, we're a subsidiary of American Income, AIL. So that's the union division of Globe Life. So we specifically only handle union benefits. You guys wouldn't be able to be gaining access to this stuff if you didn't have that partnership with your union, because this is not open to the general public. Now, our agency is the Moore Agencies of New England. We're literally 20 minutes away from you guys, right in Marlborough, Massachusetts. So couple cool things. We have over 590 5-star Google reviews based on how well we've treated our clients. And I actually got 1 5-star one here myself. So you know that I'm at least decent at what I do. You know, the way I like to compare it kind of when you're looking at this ranking is if you go to a 4.9 5-star restaurant, you're going to feel pretty confident you're going to get some decent food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the ways we like to look at it for this too. So now we have trusted partners with 90% of the union population across the country. So we work with all the major unions. Like I said, a couple we work specifically with here in Massachusetts. UPS, that's our Teamster 25, the UAW, the veterans, the police officers of Massachusetts, National Grid, which is our gas and electrical workers. Obviously, the postal workers are unionized, sheet metal workers, all the transit workers, the mass nurses, Raytheon, as well as the firefighters. And you guys might be asking yourself, well, why did my union or all these other unions select this company to represent them out of the 4,000 companies in the world? Well, the reason being is because we have the A+ superior rating. So I'm not sure, Brendan, have you ever heard of the company AM Best?
Yep.
Okay, so they rate companies on their financial strength, right? And we have an A+ superior rating, which is one of the best ratings you can possibly get. Okay, it talks about how fast we pay out our claims, and we pay those claims out in full. All right, so we're pretty proud of that, because from the research we've done, only 2% of insurance companies in the entire world have the A+ superior rating, and we've maintained that since we opened our doors in 1951. Okay. Now, the first benefit you're going to get today is going to be your no-cost life insurance policy. So this is just a generic copy. I'm going to go right to yours, your actual one. So let me get to that for you. Well, actually, you might be able to see it. Oops. So it should be right here. Okay, perfect. So can you see this one?
Yep.
The one I'm zooming on. So this is your accidental death and dismemberment policy. It's going to cover you for $3,000. It's going to cover your husband for $500, and it's going to cover your child for $500. Now, guys, obviously, this isn't going to make or break anybody. It's not meant to make you wealthy, but at the same time, we've never seen someone return it in the time of need. It's going to cover everything from a freak accident to a work accident to a house explosion, anything along those lines. If you were to ever lose your life, anyone that I just mentioned, you guys would get the full amount. Now that's also covers dismemberment, which is loss of one hand, or excuse me, your hands, your feet, your eyes, a combination of the two. Now you get half of that amount if you become a pirate, which means you lose one hand or one foot or one eye, you know? So if you ever become a pirate, I don't recommend it, but that will cover you for half of the amount. It is close to Halloween, so I guess that could work. Down here, we have Brendan listed as your beneficiary. That's your husband. That's obviously correct, right?
Yep.
And then vice versa on yours, that would be Miss Lauren Brendan?
Yep.
Okay. And then we have your date of birth, Lauren, as 9/14/87. Is that also correct?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So this policy is going to be enforced as of today. We're going to mail this out to you, so you're going to get a physical copy of it in the mail. Just make sure you put that in a safe spot, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, do you happen to have a pen and paper or anything to write with, or your phone where you could punch a number in?
Yes.
Okay. Just let me know whenever you're ready.
Oops. Okay.
All right. Let me know whenever you're ready for it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So what they do is they just have you give us an office number. That's going to be in case you ever need to reach us for any reason. It's going to be 508
Yep.
658
Yep.
9635.
Okay.
All righty.
Yep.
So, and the next thing they have us do is just establish 2 local trusted emergency contacts for you, Lauren. So this is somebody to where if gosh forbid something happened to both of you guys at the same time, or if you needed somebody to help Brendan activate this policy, 2 people you can count on that could handle that stressful phone call. Okay. So who do you want your first emergency contact to be, dear?
It would probably be your mom.
Yeah, my mom and Carol.
Yeah. So it would be Jean, Gean.
Jay.
Oh my God, Jay.
Yeah.
I need to go back to work. My mind is like what lately. Yes,
All right.
J-E-A-N.
And last name?
Roberts.
Roberts. Okay. And then what was your stepfather's name? Or stepfather, I guess?
Do you want to do?
Well, just because if he used to answer the phone, they live together, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, his name is Bruce Roberts.
Cool. And they are right in Foxborough as well?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. What's the best contact for them?
508
Yep.
272
Yep.
8655.
Perfect. And then who do you want as the backup contact?
That would be my cousin, Carol. And her last name is Cardozo, Cardoso.
Okay. And does she have a spouse that may answer?
Yeah, Jared Cardozo with a J.
Okay. All right. And that's your cousin, you said. And what town is she in?
She is in Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. That's right near you guys then.
Yeah.
Cool. And what's the best contact for her?
She is area code 203
Yep.
631 0611.
All right, perfect. So yeah, just let them know that they're your emergency contacts. Hopefully we're never going to need to use them. We will eventually when we have a chance reach out to them and let them know how the benefit works. I just don't want them to think at that point in time that something crazy happened to you or Brendan or little Tucker. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to switch back now to the other thing. And can you see where it says AIL Plus app now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So this thing's really sweet. You're also going to want to write this down, download the AIL Plus app, because it's safe to say, guys, if you're anything like me, you could probably save a little bit of money when it comes to medical expenses.
Yeah.
I think we all could, no matter what, right? There's always some out-of-pocket costs we're getting hit with. Insurance always covers a little less, but the cost of it always goes up. So this is an app you're going to download right on your phone. Now, the cool thing about this, it's designed to save you up to 80% off. It used to be only up to 50, but then this year they really upped it because they wanted to make sure they were taking care of everybody. So it's going to save you on all kinds of things. I'm just pulling my phone out to show you the app. So it's literally AIL Plus. It looks just like the logo here. You click that little app and then it goes like this. It's going to ask to see my face, so I'm going to switch it over. But it saves you on everything from pharmaceutical to vision to dental. Telemedicine is your virtual doctor's appointments. You guys may have done that before. Chiropractic care, medical equipment, hearing aids, lab testing, MRIs, CAT scans, vitamins, nutritional supplements, pretty much anything and everything. All right, I'm going to stop sharing so I can show you the app and how it works. So this is the app. All right, let me get on this side so I can show you. I think my lighting sucks, so you can't really see. But maybe if I do it like over here. Usually it works a little better than this, but you get the gist. So this is just like the scroll. You scroll and it shows you all the different things you can save money on. Now for you guys, I see that you're both wearing glasses, clearly. So that's something that potentially you break a pair of glasses, you might have to pay out of pocket. You click on the vision, then it's going to open up a different sections for you. So if you want to save on eyewear or exams, if you want to do mail order contacts, or the thing I think is the coolest, most insurances do not cover LASIK surgery, because that's technically voluntary. This actually can save you up to 50%. So let's say if that's something you guys have ever talked about, you simply click into it. It'll give you questions. It'll tell you a little gist, find a provider, or just to call and ask because this has a service about it, someone you could reach out to, like customer service. But let's just say you want to find a provider. You literally click into it. I'm not too far from you guys, maybe 20 miles from Foxborough, maybe 30. I'm not sure exactly, but you can literally look through and it's going to give you a list. I see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people within 20 miles from me, which is pretty much near you guys, do LASIK surgery and accept this card. So if that's something you guys have ever thought about doing, you can literally save thousands and thousands of dollars. And it also works on contacts. You break a pair of frames, you got a certain prescription that costs you a lot out of pocket. That's what this is designed to do. This is designed to save you guys money. Okay. Do you have any questions on how that's going to work to protect you and the family there?
No, that sounds awesome.
Pretty sweet, right? Yeah, that's all. I mean, hey, I used it. I guess I'll tell you guys. I got poison ivy in between my toes, so I decided to go fishing in flip flops and ended up getting infected. And I had to do one of the virtual doctor's appointments because I was sketched out, to be honest, about going to urgent care with everything going on. And I was able to do that. It was $25 for my virtual appointment, and then I used that on the prescription, and I only paid $5 for a prescription. My urgent care visit alone would have cost me $150.
Right.
So it was pretty cool, so that's something, if it can help you guys like it helped me, sweet.
Yep.
So I'm going to share my screen back with you. Do you have any questions on that one? Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
And you're going to get, as we continue to go through your presentation today, we're going to sign you up for your activation code because this usually costs about $1,000 a year. With your activation code, since you're a union member, $0 out of pocket, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to go over with you is going to be a family information guide. Now, this is designed to be a precursor to your will, and really the most important thing is a roadmap to your important documents. So it's kind of just going to be that organizer for your family when that day inevitably comes and something happens to us, okay? So at the top, I'm going to send you guys out 2 copies in the mail. You're going to obviously get a copy, and then we'll have a copy for Brendan. So at the top, let's say this one's yours, Miss Lauren. You're going to put down your vital statistics up here, and then we're going to put Brendan's here. Okay. And then vice versa on his. Now you also have a section in here for veterans info. Were either one of you guys in the military by chance?
No.
Okay. You don't got to worry about that. Next section's persons to be notified. This is obviously important, guys. I'm sure, you know, if something happened to you, everybody local is going to know right away, right? All your cousins, family that's close by. But if you have anyone like me, maybe that has moved across country, or you got close friends that kind of scattered throughout after college, you'd want to put their name down here so they can get a loving phone call instead of hearing through Facebook that you passed away. You know what I mean? So just those certain people you want to put down. For instance, my best friend moved to California. Last thing I want him to do is see on Facebook that James passed away. You know what I mean? If you need additional space, flip the document over and write it on the back. Persons to be in charge of your final arrangements. Obviously, Brendan, something happens to Lauren, that's what you're for, my man, right?
Yep.
Something happens to you, Lauren, that's what you're for, right?
Yep.
Now, gosh forbid something happened to both of you guys. I know it's a brand new thing. It's only a couple months in, but have you guys ever had that conversation on who would be handling it and kind of taking care of your son if that incident ever did occur?
No, but I'm pretty sure it would be your mom. Yeah.
So it's just something you want to put it down and make sure you make a copy of this document so that they are aware of that. And you know, I know obviously you're a lawyer, Brendan. I'm not sure if you specialize in doing any type of wills or services such as that. Do you?
No.
Okay. Not a big deal. There's a couple ways. Have you guys set up a will yet?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. No big deal. Most people are in the same exact boat. There's a few ways to set one up, as I'm sure you guys are aware. You could go through a lawyer attorney, typically about $1,000, maybe up to 15, depending on what you want. You could go to LegalZoom. Great resource. It's usually $100 to $300. Or if you qualify for your union benefits today, Lauren, you guys take advantage of those benefits. Your union actually provides you a no-cost will for both you and your significant other, and that will save you $1,000 instead of having to pay a lawyer. Okay. After that, I'm going to just give you a quick rundown on the will. Like, this is just an abridged version. I'm literally going to show you 2 pages of it. The first page is where you're going to put down last will and testament of. So that's where you put your information, Lauren. Underneath that would be, you guys would each get one, by the way. Underneath that would be identification of family. So obviously Brendan, Tucker, parents. Underneath that is going to be payment of debts and expenses. The unfortunate truth is when we pass away, usually we do leave behind a debt or an expense here or there. So who's going to be in charge of managing that? And then at the bottom is a spot for disposition of personal property. I'm sure you're like me, Lauren, and maybe you've seen it happen where a family member or friend passes away. Everyone's real sad about it and grieving. But then the next thing you know, people start arguing and fighting over, hey, I get the car, I get the house, I get the jewelry, I get this. It can become a difficult time.
Yes.
So you want to make sure you write that down. Now, the one page that's not on here that's important I want to go over with you is the guardian section. Now, gosh forbid, like we mentioned earlier, something happened to both of you guys. The one thing people don't realize is in the state of Massachusetts, it's pretty much 90% of the states in the country. If you were to pass away, both of you guys, your child wouldn't just go directly to Brendan's parents. Your child would have to go get put in a state facility until someone was proven fit to take your child. But on the next page, there's a spot for a guardian, and that'd be guardianship. So if you were to pass away, this individual would be able to take your child immediately without the state having to go through that investigation. Even if it's just for a week, that's one thing we would never want to put our kids through. Am I right?
Yes.
There's also a spot for a pet guardian. So do you guys got any fur babies running around?
We have a very large cat.
There you go. So make sure you put that down on there too. And then after that is the healthcare surrogate. It's the same thing as a proxy. I'm sure you know what that is, right?
Yes.
Basically anyone that can make decisions for you if you're in a position where you're physically unable to do so for yourself. Alrighty. And now the next thing we're going to get into is the bottom part of your state information, or excuse me, of your family information guide. The next section is your state information. So this is where you guys are going to want to put down any and all of your different types of life insurance. Do you know why you'd want to write that down? Because millions and millions of dollars goes unclaimed every single year. Because you guys do the responsible thing. You take out plans to protect each other, most importantly, protect Tucker. but something happens and you don't tell each other, you don't know about it, or mom
Right.
doesn't know about it, no insurance company to come knock on the door and say, oh, here's a check. It doesn't work that way. So you want to make sure you write it down. Now, are you guys familiar with the 4 major types of insurance they recommend?
Probably not.
Okay, well, good. That means you're keeping me employed here. Okay. So the first one they recommend is whole life. Now, do you know what whole life is or why they'd recommend it?
No.
It's meant to be a nest egg coverage. So what whole life means is exactly what it sounds. It covers you for your whole life. So it's guaranteed going to be there. It doesn't pay out immediately at the time of passing, but it does come in after you pass, and your family can use that for a nest egg coverage. Okay. The second one they recommend is term insurance. All right. Do you know what term insurance is?
Nope.
It's where you pay a small monthly premium for a large face amount. So it is exactly like what the word says. Term. What does term mean? Temporary. It's like renting a house. As you pay into that house, it provides you with shelter. But then when you move out of that house, you don't have the shelter anymore and you don't get any of the money you paid into it. But they recommend having that type to cover any large debts and expenses you may have, such as a mortgage, an income replacement, student loans. That's the type of things you want to have term for, because you eventually pay off your loans, you eventually pay off the mortgage, so it's okay when that plan does expire. Does that make sense?
Yep.
The third one they recommend is work coverage. So that's really neat, because with work coverage, that covers you while you're working. The reason they recommend to have work coverage is because you pay little to nothing for it, right? But the problem is, people don't realize they'll rely on that work coverage their entire life, and then they find out at the time of retirement, it's a group coverage. It stays with you as long as you're part of the group. What happens when you leave the group or you retire?
Yeah.
You're no longer with them, so you no longer have that coverage. Okay. And then the third type of coverage they recommend is funeral coverage. Okay. Now, obviously, you know why they recommend that. It's to make sure that we cover our debts and expenses and we leave the world with dignity, not debt. We don't need to leave the kids with a silver spoon, but it is important to make sure we don't put them in a position where they're stuck paying for our funerals. That's really it. So what types of insurances do you guys already have set up? Or if any, have you had a chance to?
You have work insurance?
Yep.
Awesome.
Does that, so I mean, I have insurance through,
I have a life insurance policy.
I have a life insurance policy through BMC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Have you guys had an opportunity to take out anything that's more permanent and private outside of work?
no.
No.
Okay, not a big deal. 90% of the people are on the same boat. That's why they send us out, to make sure you guys understand. So as long as you qualify today, you guys will get access to some permanent benefits to where it's going to carry with you for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, the next thing is your financial institution information. So that's going to be your banking info. Now, I'm guessing you guys probably bank at State Street,
No.
or maybe not. Maybe not.
We don't, State Street doesn't have like, they don't do what they call retail banking. So it's all investment.
Yeah, we're with Bank of America.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's a traditional bank. The reason I ask, guys, is because when it comes to banking, Mass is a probate state, or a commonwealth, however you want to word it. I'm sure obviously Brendan knows about that. But what it means is, if you were to pass away, the state can freeze your accounts. And if there's no activity in a traditional bank for 5 years, the state's legally allowed to absorb those funds. All right, you can still claim on it on findmassmoney.com, but the state is going to hold on to that money and they're going to accrue the interest off of it, right? You don't want your family having to fight to get your money. We pay enough to Massachusetts, guys. We don't need to be paying any extra, okay? So you want to set up something called an executor on your account. Obviously, you guys will be each other's beneficiaries on it, or co-owners on an account. But if something ever happened to both of you, you want to be prepared for that. So it's called an executor. I'm sure, obviously, Brendan knows exactly what that is and how it works, but someone that can access your funds if you can, okay? So you want to list it, but you don't have to put the account number down, because you never want this piece of paper to get in the wrong hands. And down here's your funeral service request. So trust me, I've been doing this and it's still an uncomfortable conversation to have when I talk to my parents about it, but it is something that you guys want to talk about. You have it down on paper and then you never got to worry about it again. Okay. Now, are you guys, is the family traditionally do more of earth burials, or do you guys leaning more toward like a cremation side of things?
We're laughing because Brendan's, or my father-in-law owns a funeral home. So
Wow, awesome.
we know all about funerals.
Okay. So you know exactly how expensive it can be and everything that's entailed with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm sorry, what was the original question?
So I was just asking if you guys are going a traditional route, or are you guys leaning toward going the cremation side?
Oh God, I don't know. Brendan says burn them up. I'm very uncomfortable thinking about either of those things.
Well, that's the more affordable option. The average traditional funeral right now is up to 15,000, even up to 20, depending. If you're going for the fancy casket, cremation is much closer to 5,000 to 8, maybe 10 if you're getting fancy. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just simply make it for me. I want to do something unique. It's kind of weird. You could laugh at me if you want, but I want to get burned, mixed with soil, and turned into one of those biodegradable urns where they put a little tree in you and you get to grow
Oh,
again. So
nice.
I was like, heck, I've been to too many gravestones. I feel like every time you go, it's sad. I'd rather them get to watch me grow again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you can obviously see how this will outline everything for the family and make it a little bit easier for them when it comes time to deal with that situation. The cool part is this is designed literally, Lauren and Brendan, to be your voice when you guys no longer have one. Just meant to keep it clean, easy, and concise. All right. Now, did you guys already have funerals set up with his stepfather?
No.
Is that
No. No.
I just want to make sure before we get into all the benefit side of things. All right, cool. So the next thing we're going to get into is what the union has us do is catch up with members from the SEIU, because what they find out is a lot of people are like you, Lauren. They send back their postcard, they receive their benefits. But the problem is some people, if it doesn't say the word paycheck or pension on it, guess where they save that? In the trash can, right? So those members end up missing out on their benefits. So the union has us catch up with a few of the people that you're close with over there at the union. We run their name through the system back at the office. If they've already been taken care of, it makes our job so much easier. But if they haven't, we're actually able to bring them all the way up to the top of the list of thousands and thousands of names. All right. So you just want to think about the people that you care about at work that have helped you out, and you'll be able to help them out. Now, the one thing I want to make clear is I'm not going to bring up your name. You don't got to bring up my name unless you want to brag about me, because these are already their benefits. But who's that first person that you appreciate over there that's helped you out?
Probably Anya.
Okay.
I wouldn't, she wouldn't be, she's my manager though, so I don't know if she would be part of the union. Like, she's not a tech. Sorry. Just
No,
thinking.
you're fine.
But probably Kim Hartfield.
Hartfield?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And do you know what town Kim lives in?
I don't know where she lives. Nope, it's not coming to me. Nope.
Okay, not a big deal. And who would be next?
Probably Mary Stone.
Okay. All right, and then who's next?
I'm trying to, like, I can't remember their last names. Isn't that awful?
No, it's okay.
I'm sure I'll think of somebody.
Okay, not a big deal. And then do you know what's the best number for Miss Kim?
Oh, I don't know if I have her phone number. I don't think I have her number.
And do you happen to have Mary's number?
No, I don't have either of their cells.
Ready to, okay, so should we try to then, I mean, what we could do then is just, if you want to have me go through Anya, I can go through her, because if she's a manager and supervisor, I can cross-reference with her and make sure that we get everybody situated.
Okay.
Okay, and what was Anya's last name?
It's Petrusheva. It's Patrusheva.
Okay, and that's the supervisor. And what's the best number for her?
That I do have.
That's probably what I should have asked for first, because she's the one that's going to be able to make sure everyone's taken care of.
Yeah. What's that?
It's
Under P, probably. He was just texting.
He's pretty well behaved, I'll tell you what.
He just got
He just
fed,
got
so he's in a
fed,
good
so
mood.
he's
He's
good.
chilling. Does he sleep? Is he like sleeping through the nights, pretty relaxed, or is he a troublemaker?
He sleeps really well.
Wow, you guys scored there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anya's number is 573-826-7508.
What kind of area code is that?
I think it is South Carolina, somewhere in South Carolina, because that's where she came from.
That's where she was.
Well, she actually came from Siberia, but
holy cow, Siberia! That's interesting. I bet you she has some stories. Did she move here as an adult or as a child? Do you know?
As an adult.
Cool. So
yeah,
wow.
I know she spent some time in Italy, and then from Italy she came over here, and I think she did some schooling in South Carolina, and then just got her first job kind of managing her own department. She actually started at BMC like a few months before I did.
Oh wow.
It was like her first hire.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then this information I'm just punching in right here, Lauren, is for your AIL Plus app. So this is what's going to give you that activation code to the email. I got your email and phone number. What is the address for you guys out there in Foxborough?
It's 150
Yep.
Green Street.
And that's Foxborough. And
02035.
02035. There you go. Perfect. And then does your information look correct? Lauren Schlander, female, June 14th, 87?
September.
September. There
Yes.
we go. Thank you. That's why we always double check. And then Mr. Brendan. Same last name, obviously. And what is Brendan's date of birth?
July 13th, 1989.
Okay, and then we got Mr. Tucker, the new addition.
Yeah.
Awesome. And his date of birth?
July 10th this year.
That's a heck of a birthday present.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Brendan. That's a score, my man.
Yeah, his due date was the 6th, and he came late, and at that point I was like, all right, maybe he'll be born on his birthday, but I cannot go a day past his birthday.
Yeah. So that's as long as we'll wait, but it's like, hey babe, I'm not getting you anything for your birthday. I'm pushing out a child for you.
Oh yeah, one of his friends texted him and was like, but did she still get you anything for your birthday?
He's like, no, I had to take care of her, actually. That's how it should go. All right, cool. But so the next part, guys, is critical. In all seriousness, in order for you to qualify for these benefits, you do have to meet 3 criteria to get your permanent benefits.
Okay.
Like I said, the first is you have to be a union member, Lauren. This stuff is not open to the general public. You can't just walk off the street, give us a call, and get this stuff. Okay. The second is you do have to take advantage during your open enrollment, just because we have thousands and thousands of people to see. Obviously, that's covered because I'm talking with you today. But the third is the most critical by far. You guys have to be in a majority of good health. I can't tell you how often people want and need these benefits, but they do what humans do. They procrastinate, push it off, and unfortunately, they'll develop negative health factors, and then they can't get this stuff when they need it the most. All right. And the cool part is you guys are super responsible for doing it now, because right now you're the youngest and healthiest you're ever going to be. So that makes it the most affordable it will ever be. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple quick questions, though, to make sure that you can qualify today. So this is going to be for you, Brendan, and Tucker. Okay.
Okay.
Any cancer in the past 2 years for you guys?
No.
Okay. Any insulin diabetes where you need to take a shot?
Nope.
Okay. Any cardiovascular disease like a heart attack, a stroke, anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. Any oxygen use
No.
besides what you guys are sharing, right?
Right.
Any terminal illnesses for you?
No.
Any Alzheimer's you can remember?
Nope.
Pregnancy brain doesn't count. You know, I've heard that's a real thing though. And
Yeah.
then do you guys use any type of tobacco?
No.
Okay. And then no parole, probation, DUIs?
Nope.
They let you take that ankle bracelet off, Lauren?
Yes.
Sweet. So there's no reason to exclude you from your benefits today. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the most important thing to the unions, as I'm sure you can imagine, is making sure that you're protected, right? But equally as important as that, guys, is making sure that this program is comfortable for you. So what they do is they base this on just 1 hour of your income to make sure that it's going to be completely financially comfortable for you each week. Okay. So Lauren, what would you say is a low ballpark, not counting overtime, hazard pay, of your hourly rate?
Oh, like for the year or just what my rate is?
What your rate is per hour?
It is. Oh my God, what is my how much do I make? 29? 39.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, it's
So,
really bad.
What I'm going to
I have
do, you
such
do
a
have a little bit of the post-pregnancy brain, right?
Oh,
We've all
it's
been
bad.
there.
It's really bad.
But what,
39 an hour. Yes,
Okay.
yes. That makes sense. Yes.
so what we're going to do is I'm going to put it in as if though it's 30, because this is going to be your guys' starter program. Okay, it's the first time you're looking at this stuff, so we're going to set you up with a starter. And with that being said, Brendan, I'm not even going to include your income into this because we want to make sure it's completely financially comfortable with the transitions you guys are making in life. Does that sound fair to you guys?
Sure.
Okay, cool. And you haven't had a chance to set up anything permanent and private yet. And do you know about how much you guys are covered through work right now?
So mine's like 8. It's 8 times my salary. So
like $1 million?
like 700,000.
Okay.
Around there.
All right. And then do you know about how much yours is, dear Miss Lauren?
I don't.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in as if though it's 100,000.
Okay.
Actually, let me check. I think it does come up in the email they sent me about your benefits. Hold on. Sometimes they put it in here. All right. No, it's not on there. All I have is your private policy that they just set up. All right, so we're gonna put in 100,000 because that's about usually what most of the SEIU members are covered for. So you guys have awesome starter program set up there, and then you guys obviously bank locally. You said with Bank of America. So click that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm simply gonna submit this. It's gonna generate a program based on the information you gave me, and then my job simply to walk you through that program and explain how it's gonna work to protect you guys from this day for the rest of your life. Okay.
Okay.
Can you see this where it says "Dear Member" at the top?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the mandatory read-off letter. I'm just going to read this one to you guys. It says, "Dear Member, the insurance programs being offered you today are made on a voluntary basis through the cooperation of your union and American Income Life Insurance Company, a 100% union label company with a long-standing history of serving union members and their families. We're privileged to provide insurance services to millions of policyholders throughout the United States, Canada, and New Zealand. We currently have more than $46.6 billion of life insurance in force. It just means we're protecting a lot of union families. AIL supplemental benefits are not in competition with any of your group benefits or your workplace/employer, and they can complement any policies you may already have. That's significant for you guys because the one thing you need to understand is this is going to work hand in hand with your benefits, not against your benefits you may already have in force. If you choose to take advantage of your program today, your benefit is permanent and portable throughout your lifetime. Those are two very important words. What's the word permanent mean?
Stays forever.
Stays with you forever, right? And what's portable mean?
It can travel.
It goes wherever you go. So if you decide one day you're going to leave the hospital, you're going to switch to a different employer, this stuff still stays with you guys. You don't lose it. If you decide you want to move down to Florida, guess what? You're sick of the snow. This stays with you. So it doesn't matter where you go. It's going to stay with you forever, and it's going to go wherever you go. Okay. Now, if you qualify, your coverage lasts a lifetime and is under your control. All right. Once the program has been explained to you, we are sure you agree with many of the participating members. It's one of the most valuable programs you've ever seen. All right. There's several benefits available. Please take a few minutes to listen to your representative. Obviously, that's me. If we can help with your needs in this area, we ask you please take advantage today. If not, we'd like your feedback, so please take a minute to complete your report form. This information helps the union serve you more effectively. The reason the union asked you to make a decision today is there's several thousand families requesting for the program, and we can only visit each family one at a time. We appreciate the opportunity to serve you and your family today. Any questions on that read-off letter?
Nope.
Okay, cool. You guys are making my job easy. I love it. If you ever do have questions, don't hesitate to stop and ask, okay? Because that's what I'm here for. Now, I'm going to skip a couple of those boring corporate videos for you guys again.
Oh, here. Oh.
Was that a sneeze?
Yeah. He's got a lot of reflux, so he pukes quite a bit.
That happens to the best of them. It was the same way with my little brothers.
Yeah.
Why don't you just take that?
Yeah, sure. You just hold that. You just hold on to that. Yeah. Yeah. It's so dark in here. Oh, it's a little dark.
Okay.
There we go. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Hanging out with Daddy? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Puking all over Daddy.
Poor dad. That happens. Price you pay for being a dad, I'll tell you what.
A lot more laundry.
But I bet it's a beautiful thing. I know I was always happy, you know, or at least excited when I had the little brothers. They're cute when they're little, and you don't want them to grow up, and then they grow up and they just start asking you for $5 every time you see them, or $20, and you're just like, what the heck? Come on, man! Don't you just want to see me? All right, cool. So bear with me, guys. I'm just gonna pull this up and explain it to you. So the program, let me pull it up here. So the program that you guys qualified for is actually called the Elite Family Care Plan. All right. And let me share my screen so you guys can see it. So I'm not just talking at you. I almost forgot to do that. I apologize. So can you guys see this? It says Our Power.
Yep.
So the program you guys qualify for today is called the Elite Family Care Plan. And once you guys choose to enroll, your weekly contribution is going to be based off of just $28 a week. So it's actually under, you know, it's about closer to a half an hour of your work week, Lauren. And you might ask yourself, well, how am I going to protect me, hubby, and Tucker for just $28? All right. Well, it goes to a system that they created called an Hour of Power. The premise is you take 1 hour of your work week, that first hour you work every single week, Lauren, you dedicate that to protecting your best friend and your kid, right? And then the rest of the hours, use that for whatever you need it for, bills, savings, vacation, hopefully, anything fun that you want to do, right? All the while knowing your family's protected. The easiest way for me to explain it to you guys is, Lauren, let's say the boss calls you up, Anya calls you up and says, hey, Lauren, guess what? Great news, girl. You're the hardest worker we got. We're going to give you an extra $28 a week. Are you going to come home and say, babe, we made it. We're moving to that beach house down on the Cape that we always wanted? Probably not, right? Now, vice versa, though, if she calls you in and says, you know what, we actually, everybody, she does a staff meeting, we have to contribute an extra $28 to the benefit fund. You're not going to come home and say, hey, babe, we're switching from the disposable diapers. We're going to start using cloth diapers, and we're going to wash them by hand. Right?
That's happening.
So it's safe to say that a half an hour of your work week, Lauren, that's not going to drastically change your guys' lifestyle one way or another, would it?
No.
but you taking that money and you putting it to the side to make sure that your best friend and your child are going to be protected no matter what, that clearly would give you a peace of mind, right?
Yes.
And that's exactly why they set it up for you guys that way. Now, the first benefit you're going to get is called the freedom of choice. Okay. Now, have you guys ever had that uncomfortable or unfortunate incident of being on the financial side of a funeral?
No.
You're obviously clearly pretty fortunate to have a funeral director in the family, right?
Yes.
But it can be a difficult process because, you know, people end up, you have the loss of a loved one, now you have a financial burden, and it can become a hardship because people don't realize the average cost of a traditional, like I said, is 15, and a cremation is about 8, you know. And the reason why it's such a big deal nowadays is people don't understand that life insurance does not work for funerals the way it used to. All right, the way it used to work is if you passed away, Brendan could take a life insurance policy down to a funeral home and give it to him as collateral. Before 2004, companies had to pay out within 24 days. You guys can look up the average right now. It's 60 to 90 days it takes for a payout, all the way up to a full year.
Wow.
Why do you think that company would want to hold that money from you guys? Brendan, you negotiate big contracts. What do people make as they hold on to money?
What's that? Sorry.
What do people make as they're holding on to money? Interest. And it's not a little bit, because it's not just you guys they do it to. They do it to everybody, and they make millions and millions of dollars. Well, poor families like ours are burdened with the out-of-pocket expense when it comes to funeral time, right? That is BS. The union doesn't think it should work that way, and they don't allow it to work that way. Now, like I said, you guys are in a fortunate circumstance where you do have a funeral director as a stepfather, but is that always going to be the case? Maybe not. Maybe it's a family business. Maybe they sell it. I don't know, right? But what this is designed to do is to be a permanent, portable, prearranged funeral for the both of you. So no matter what the case is down the road, you can guarantee you already took care of that for Tucker, okay? Essentially what this certificate's going to be for the both of you is a shield to protect each other and your little one when you're no longer here to do so. All right, so it's a permanent, portable, prearranged funeral. Let's say, gosh forbid, you lost your best friend. You're going to take this certificate down to any funeral home in the entire country. All right. All you do, Lauren, is you flip it over. You put down what he wanted to have done. So it seems like he's leaning toward the cremation, right? So, you know, the transportation of the body, the casket he has to get cremated in, the cremation itself, a viewing, a memorial service you'd like to have, right? And then if you want to put him in a tree, like I suggested, you could do that. Then you negotiate the price up here. You sign down here as his best friend, his beneficiary, his wife. You flip this document over, slide it to the director, and guess what, girl?
All taken care of.
It's done.
Yep.
The toughest day of your life, it's not over, but you get to move on with the grieving process after 15 minutes and grieve with the family like you should be able to, instead of jumping through those hoops and loops. Now, the funeral director is going to call us directly, and they're going to ask us 2 very simple questions, guys. The first thing they're going to ask us is, were you enrolled in your union benefits, right? And of course, after today, you guys would be, right?
Yep.
And the second thing they're going to ask is, how much were you covered for? That's the important part. We're never going to tell them, and you got to promise me you never tell them. Obviously, not stepdad would do this, but the reason being is if you go in there and say, oh yeah, babe's covered for 15 grand, even though he wants a $5,000, $8,000 cremation, how much is the director normally going to try to charge you? Sad truth is, guys, they're a business, right? And in businesses, they're in it to make money. So they'll try to take as much as they can. That's why we never tell them, you never tell them. We do a review every single year to remind you how your benefits work, how much you're covered for, see if we owe you any money in claims. So you're going to get that review every single year. This is designed to make the worst day of your life a little bit easier. It's supposed to be clean, easy, and compassionate. You can obviously see how that would make it a little bit easier for you guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Any questions on how that works?
Nope.
No.
Okay, pretty straightforward. So now, like I said, you have the Elite Family Care Plan. The weekly contributions, $28. Now that's going to guarantee you guys for the rest of your life $15,000 funerals. Okay, and that's each. So it's a pizza and wings covering both of your funerals for the rest of your life. Pretty sweet deal so far. But now the next thing that I really like and appreciate is the child head start. Have you guys ever heard of the Gerber Grow Up Plan?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So this is like the Gerber Grow Up on union steroids, because it covers your child for more and it costs less. Okay, so it's going to be $25,000 it's going to cover Tucker for. And that's going to lock him in at the rate of less than a 1-year-old. All right. And that premium is never going to increase for the rest of his life. So he's going to get locked in. That's the cool part about it. He might not thank you now. He might be asking for toys. But when he's 25, 30 years old, like you guys are starting a family, he's going to say, thank God mom and dad looked out for me, because I'm barely paying anything for this and everyone else is paying an arm and a leg. Okay. But the thing I really love about it is it accumulates a cash value as you guys pay into it. So if he ever needs to borrow against that for college education, down payment on a house, automobile, whatever it is, he has that, right? And the other thing, my favorite thing, is it's harder and harder to insure children as they become adults, because doctors, I don't know if I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but they pump our kids with more meds than ever before. If you have ADHD, if you have severe asthma, latent autism, any of these disorders, it can rule children from ever getting coverage later in life. This gives your child a guaranteed insurability. So it's not only going to cover him now, but it's going to cover him forever. So he can increase that up to $150,000 of additional coverage without one medical question being asked. Gosh forbid, later in life has a heart attack, he can go out and still get coverage when in most cases you'd never be able to. So really, you're not only protecting your child, you're also protecting your future grandchildren, which you guys probably haven't even thought of yet, right?
No.
No kids for you yet, mister. Come on. All right. So you guys have the little one covered and both of you guys covered still for that same half-hour work. Now, this part is one of my favorite parts because this is your nest egg coverage. Okay. This is what I call the what if coverage. If something's going to happen to you guys in the next 20 years where your child's the most dependent on your income, do you think that's going to be due to a heart attack, natural causes, old age, or do you think that's going to be due to most likely an accident?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This is parenthood.
Oh, that's great. No, take your guys' time. No rush.
It's just that wonderful feeling of hot spit up.
That's always good, and always had that like sour milk smell too, right?
He's completely
Oh,
covered.
okay. Okay. You should just bring some onesies down. Oh, yeah, the smell is terrible.
Have you guys, would you change them twice since the meeting started?
Once. This will be twice. But yeah, we go through those onesies like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I could only imagine. I remember how it was the first time I saw the I don't know if you guys have been fortunate enough to see this yet, but where it runs up the back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was like traumatizing for me because it was when I was babysitting him. I was like 13 or 14 years old. My dad left me for like 2 hours, and then it happened, and I just like was gagging, holding him like this. It was one of the funniest things. Like now I look back on it, it was funny, but I was like very shook at the time that happened. It was pretty intense stuff, I must tell you.
Yeah.
You see all kinds of crazy. Does he start? I mean, he's 3 months, right? So he's probably not really doing too much moving around or anything yet.
Not too much. He likes to lay on his back and kick his feet, and he's recently started to really want to put weight on his legs. So like, well, I'll hold him up.
That's cool.
Kind of bounce with him a little bit. He's really into that lately. But yeah, no crawling. We're working on rolling over.
There you go.
Yeah. And and sometimes he'll just start babbling and he won't stop, which is hysterical because you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna let you go.
Yeah, that shows that he's trying to do the thinking, he's trying to get those words out. He's talking to you guys, you just don't understand it yet, right?
Exactly. And then what happened, right? You're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Neat. That's sweet. I love kids. I don't have any of my own, so I'm living vicariously through you guys right now.
Yeah.
I just got the pains in the butt. Now I go home, they ask me for $20 every time I go back to New York. You guys have you been able to do any fun for you guys since you had the little one, or is it mostly you guys been pretty steady with him?
We've been pretty steady with him. We got away for 2 separate weekends with the baby.
Okay.
We went to New Hampshire with Brendan's parents, got a condo there. So actually we spent 4 days in New Hampshire, which was great because they were pretty much just like kicking us out of the condo. Like, you guys go have dinner. No, go get out of here. We just want to hang out with the baby. Like, they didn't want us around at all. They just wanted the baby.
I don't want to deal with you guys. You're overprotective parents. It's like, boom.
Yeah,
Because that's how it is, right?
Yeah, they were like disappointed when we came home from dinner. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, well, like, we were full. We didn't want dessert. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Like, we want extra time with our grandson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And then a couple weekends ago, I have an aunt and uncle who have a house in Vermont. So they gave us the house for the weekend. So we went up and just kind of, did some leaf peeping and went to a farm and got cider and that kind of stuff. So
Oh, that's nice. So you got to get out and enjoy the fall a little bit.
Yeah.
I know everybody's been going like Corona crazy, pretty much being locked inside so much.
I know. And it's like starting to get to that point where you feel like, okay, you know what, maybe we need to really reel it in here again with all the resurgence of it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I was glad we kind of got out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're all thinking about holidays and whatnot. So I think we'll probably just kind of retreat into our own little bubble.
Yeah. Well, the one thing at the end of the day, guys, you're smart for doing that because it's always better safe than sorry. That's the one thing.
I can't imagine being sick and trying to take care of him.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Well,
yeah. Either one of you guys. So, but awesome. So I'll hop back into it. So you got both of your funerals covered forever. You got him covered forever. And now the next thing is your what if coverage. So if something was to unexpectedly happen to you guys in the next 20 years while he's dependent on your income, you think that's going to be due to a heart attack? You think it's going to be old age, or do you think it'd most likely be a freak accident? What would you
I hope old age.
Yeah, hopefully old age.
Well, if it was in 20 years, you guys aren't passing away from old age in 20 years.
Oh, in 20 years?
Yeah.
Oh, probably either accidental or automotive.
Exactly. So that's why for a starter program, what we always recommend is when you're super young, like you guys are, we cover you for the what if, the ADB, the accidental coverage, because the likelihood of you passing away due to anything else before the age of 65 is less than 10%. Okay. So if Miss Lauren, let's say, you're going for a jog in the morning, whatever, you want to catch some fresh air and you're just jogging along, someone's texting and driving, gosh forbid they come up on the side of the road and hit you. Worst case scenario, you don't make it home. You're going to leave behind $250,000, $250,000. All right. And that's designed to be the nest egg to make sure that your little one and your best friend are going to be taken care of a little bit. It'll make a dent in the mortgage, help cover your income a little bit, whatever it's needed to do. A lot of families say what they'll do is they'll just put it in the bank and try to live off the interest as best as they can. You have that ability, right? But you can obviously see how that kind of money would make a difference if something happened to you unexpectedly, right?
Yep.
And then it's the same thing for you, my man. You're going on a hike, walking, it's slippery. I mean, I went skiing at Killington. I know how it can get in Vermont. There's some sharp, steep mountains. Worst case scenario happens, $250,000. Guys, this covers anything from a house fire to a freak explosion. Anything that is accidental, you guys are going to be covered for $250,000. So gosh forbid something happened to both of you guys in a freak accident, you're leaving behind all of your work coverage, your funerals, and $500,000 to your son. Can you see how that would clearly be able to make an impact on his life?
Yep.
What it's meant to do, guys, is make sure you're able to have him raised the way you'd want him to be raised, even if you are no longer here to do it. Okay. And I'm not going to give any examples on this, but he's covered for accidents for $10,000. Okay. Now, what do you think the most dangerous thing we do every day is? You already said this one, Lauren.
Drive.
It's driving, right? It's the most dangerous thing we do because it's the frequency at which we usually do it. People used to drive at 10 and 2. Now people drive at noon and cell phone. It's ridiculous. I saw a girl literally doing her makeup when I was driving to work today.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? So gosh forbid something happened to you guys in a car accident, you're going to be covered for $300,000. Normally, when the risk for death goes up, which the number one way people pass in accidents right now is automotive, the risk for death goes up. A company wants to decrease your death benefit because it's more likely to happen. Not your union. They increase it. So it goes up to $300,000 a piece. And my favorite part about that coverage, guys, is it covers you whether you're riding or driving. Even if you're a passenger, Heck, you go out with the girls, you're asleep in the back seat. Someone was sneaking a couple shots of the DD with a cute guy at the end of the bar. You pay the price for it. Your family still gets that coverage. Okay. Can you see how that would be able to help out?
Yep.
Now the last one is common carrier. Pop quiz. Do you guys know what a common carrier is?
Like
Good.
plane, train.
My guy, there you go. Okay, exactly.
Gonna say,
People
like,
don't usually get that. It's anything you pay a fare to ride on. So like a plane, a bus, a train, a taxi, a cruise, Uber, Lyft, duck boat, literally anything. It actually paid out once. Funny story, but it's not funny because someone passed away. But a guy was riding a donkey down the Grand Canyon and ended up falling off of it in an accident.
oh God.
But
Oh.
that still covered you. So that's going to cover you guys for almost $500,000 if anything unexpectedly happened. Something happens to both of you guys, you go on a second honeymoon, you're talking about almost $1 million payout that your son's going to get. Okay. And that's on top of all the other coverages you have. So you guys right here, this is what I like to call your nest egg coverage. His coverage and your funerals still for same half-hour work. Okay. Now the last part, Lauren, this is the part that's going to get you excited. All right. Because this is what's going to pay for your policy for you. Let me ask you guys a quick question though. When's the last time an insurance company paid you guys money?
The cars.
Yeah.
Like just gave us money or paid for something for us?
Like paid you guys money?
Oh, never.
Never, right? And that's exactly how it usually works, except at the union. All right. This is going to cover you guys for any type of what if accidental injury or anything like that, an accident or an injury type of a protection. Let's say it's something as simple as you had a long day. You're kind of, tired out. You're a little tight. You were sitting on the couch all day taking care of the little one. He's at the stage where he's crawling around. And all of a sudden you hear the cry. It's not the cry that you normally hear. It's like that what the heck's going on type of cry. So you bounce up as quick as you can. You go to run to get him and you feel something tighten up and tweak your back. You got to go to the doctors to get that checked out, Lauren. What's a copay for you, girl?
For the ER, it's either 100 or 200.
Okay, so let's say 100 because this even covers walk-ins, urgent care, primary care, ER, whatever. So let's round it to 100. If you're like me, guys, $100 is $100, right? That's not going to make or break the bank. But if you miss work that day and you're laid up, that might get into your pocket a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So from this day forward, if anything happens to you guys in an accident or injury, you're getting paid $250 per occurrence. It could be little man grows up and he's playing out in the yard, gets stung by a bee, $250. You're cooking, you end up burning yourself, $250. You're shoveling the driveway, Brendan, you tweak your back, $250. You slip and fall on the ice, $250. You're building a playpen, you hit your hand with a hammer, $250.
Gotta go.
Right? Now, don't be going crazy with it. And I mean, you can use it as much as you want. I'm just saying, knock on wood, you don't need to use it that much. I had a carpenter, he used it 4 times. In the first 6 months of him having it, he got paid out $1,000. Wow. He literally made money on having a program to protect his family. Okay. So that one is an awesome benefit. But the next one, guys, is the game changer. Do you know what the leading cause of bankruptcy is in America?
No.
I'm going to guess hospital bills based on the next line.
Based on the next line. See, look, he's a detective. I like it. That's exactly it, guys. It's hospital bills. Because as long as you're being treated at a hospital, guys, you're being charged. Okay. So let's say, gosh forbid, Brendan, you got to go into work one day. They have some big thing coming up. You got to do this huge contract. You end up working 12, 14 hours that day. You're driving home. Have either one of you guys ever had a case of the sleepies before where you're flying your eyelids? We've all been there. Gosh forbid, worst case scenario happens, guys. Oh, there he goes.
Just keeps puking.
That's what they do. They puke, pee, and poop. It's like all they know. Sleep, eat, poop, pee.
Tucker.
It's the 3 Ps.
It's just,
I'm not going to change it.
Yeah, don't change him because he's just going to do it again. We'll give him a bath. I promise.
There
He's
it is.
gonna get a
No.
bath tonight.
We did something. It was like the 2-hour rule, where it's like, all right, if there's a little dribble, we're gonna wait 2 hours because something more is probably gonna come, and that's what we did with my little brother. So it was like, you gotta have like the rule where there's a certain amount of time before you're like, all right, because you'll get in a thing where you're just going change. You do 5 times in an hour if you're not careful. So the next one, guys, let's say, gosh forbid, you do get a case of the sleepies. You went off the road. Unfortunately, you wake up in a hospital 10 days later. A couple bad things would be happening. If you're laid up in a hospital, what are you not doing?
You're not making money.
But what's still coming in?
Bills.
Exactly. Well, guess what? Now you are making money, Lauren, because your union is going to pay you $500 every single day.
Does that, like, if you had a child?
Guys, even though it may have been an accident, that doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
And I was just joking.
Oh, accident and injury only. Got it.
Yes. Regardless if there was an accident, I was just picking on you. But guys, that's going to cover you for that 500 up to 365 days. So I'm not a mathlete, but I know 500 times 10 is $5,000. And if you're anything like me, $5,000 will help out with the bills that week, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And that's what it's there for. Now, the next one is your ICU coverage, guys. And by the way, this covers you, Brendan, and Tucker, all of this. The next one's the ICU. I'm not going to give any examples because I hope this never, ever happens to you guys, but it will cover you for $1,000 a day for up to 14 days. After that 14, if you have the unfortunate incident of being in there longer than that, all it does is revert back to the 500, and that would carry out for the remainder of the time you were in there. Okay.
Wow.
So do you know why they double it up to 1,000 besides that, the fact that it's just more expensive?
Are you less likely to come out of the ICU?
That's definitely part of it. But if you're in the ICU, where do you think Brendan would be?
In the ICU.
And vice versa, right?
Right.
You're not allowed to say shopping, Lauren. Come on now. And then, guys, I don't even have to ask. You guys would go bankrupt before your baby would wake up without you by his side. So we want to cover not just one income, but both incomes if you guys ever get in that situation. Okay. Now at the bottom here, this is one of the most important things. It's strike and layoff proof. So if you guys ever have to go on strike, I know the SEIU did 3 years ago. If you guys ever go on strike to fight for your benefits, guess what you don't have to pay for but stays in force?
This.
And guess what? If for whatever reason a layoff happens, you don't have to pay for this, but it stays in force. Imagine calling up Verizon or another insurance company and saying, hey, I got laid off. Can you help me out for a couple months?
Yeah.
They're going to laugh at you and say that you're getting canceled, right? Now, just to recap this so you guys know what it is and how it's going to work, the union did their shopping on this for you. You guys could get the stuff down here at the bottom from Aflac. It usually costs $20 per week per adult. That's going to be $120 at least for you a month. This what if coverage for that amount is probably $50 a month per person. Another 100, you're talking 220. Gerber grow up plans usually $20. You're at 240, and then you can ask stepdad how much it costs to prearrange a funeral. Even people your age, it's minimum $75 a month. So that combination of coverage, you're talking $400, $500 a month through your union. It's a half hour of your work week each week. Right? Pennies on the dollar. Now they do give you guys an option for an inflation proof. This is going to be $36 a week. All it's going to do is give you the inflation funeral option. So if you guys ever want to, make sure that you have the ability to do a fancier cremation or want to have the ability to do a traditional funeral, if that's something you might consider down the road, that's going to bump it up to $25,000. So you'd have the same coverage as little man, and then everything else stays exactly the same. That's the only difference. My professional recommendation, guys, as your expert, I would say start with the starter program. You don't need anything more than that right now. You can always add on to this down the road as you guys continue to grow and change and develop your family. But it's up to you guys. What option do you feel like would be the best fit for you today, Lauren?
Probably the first option. Yeah.
And Brendan, you're on the same page with me there? First option?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I know you're doing daddy duties. I'm honestly, not just saying this, man, super proud of you for doing that, because most guys, they just toss the baby to the wife and she's doing it. So that shows me you're a badass husband. You definitely lucked out there, Lauren.
I
Very good.
definitely did. I chose right for sure. He's an excellent dad.
There you go. You scored. So all I need to get this application going for you guys is just your driver's licenses, and we'll knock this out and you guys will be done in 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
We need the license number.
I think so. You just said driver's license. Something new. All right. All right, what do you need?
All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm seeing. I'm just going to walk you through the application so you don't think I'm just asking you a bunch of weird questions for no reason. So obviously this section right here just means I saw all three of you, which I did. This is just asking where you were born. So you were born in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Hubby was born in Michigan, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. And then little man was Mass.
Yep.
Right. Okay, look at that. And Miss Lauren, about how tall are you, dear?
I am 5'5".
And about how light are you?
How light am I?
Yeah, so